YouTube. So, I was going to make this video yesterday, but I did not. But I think that everything happens in the right time, and that I believe is probably what the this video is going to be about. Divine timing. People bandy around that concept quite often. You know, when the time is right, um, when the stars align. And I do believe that that is the true nature of God. I think that what is for you will not pass you. If something is meant to be in your life, it will be. And perhaps things are unfolding in exactly the way that they need to. I think that the true nature of God is intelligent. I think it's divine perfection. I think that it doesn't always make logical or analytical or rational sense to us, but it doesn't mean that God isn't operating at all times through everyone and through everything. The times that I have had um, in my life where I have had the strongest experiences of what we would call God is when I can really sit back and go, wow, it is all so perfect and intricate, and it's doing everything it needs to within every moment. I think that not everybody teaches that. I think that we have people who are obviously seeing through their lens and their perspective. So whilst there is truth to manifestation, and there's truth to the law of attraction, and there is truth to that things come into our reality based on our thoughts, it is so much more intricate than just the individualistic experience, because we are a collective. How Who you are is based on your conditions, your programming, your trauma, your pain, your parents, where you were born. All of these things are so ingrained in you that they create the makeup of who you are, and you are then a sum of not only your own parts but your roots, your family, who you've come from. So when people think that they are freely making their choices and decisions, they're only just an extension of everything that they've ever come from before. And so from that space, you can kind of see perhaps where they're going to go, because they will do and be whatever it is that the piece of them that is God intended them to do, or what it intended them to be. Um, and that's when the free will and the choice comes in. It's the piece of us that is God that has chosen. Once again, it's so intricate. You impact so many different people in your life just by existing and living and breathing. Now, if everybody is doing that at all times, we are a system. We are a machine, a something uh, that is much larger than just you. Super, super, super important. Because then what it does is it takes the pressure and the weight off of having to understand all the time. And it also can give us faith. The joke is that maybe not everybody needs to have that trust and that faith, or walk with that understanding or that knowing, because they are still doing what the piece of them that is God intended them to do. So they will have as much or as little as awareness as they need. So when people, talk about people who are not awake, it doesn't mean that they're any less godly than you or I, because there's still godliness in them doing what it needs to do. The other thing that I think is interesting is that you can consciously think that you are the one manifesting and creating everything within your life. But once again, there are things that we would never choose to experience but we need. And there are things that we think that we want that we don't really need. So it's much, much bigger than us, which means we can take the pressure and the weight off of having to make it happen. So I think that that is all I'm going to say for the day. Divine timing, when it all aligns, Maybe it's always in alignment, even if it doesn't feel good. And that's the other thing. People want to feel good all the time. And unfortunately, life isn't feeling good 24/7 because every emotion and every feeling exists. If you think that you can reach a certain space and attain a certain enlightened vibration and frequency, that you will never have a problem again, that isn't quite the way that life works, because there'll always be things that come in. And yes, some of it is the way that we handle and we navigate things emotionally. But there are going to be things that come in that knock us for six, the death of a loved one, things that are outside of our realm of control, that are bigger than us. I often say we don't make the sunrise in the morning, and you can try to manifest that not happening. It is not going to happen. There are uh, laws and objective truths that are concrete. They can't be moved just by your sheer um, will, because it's God's will. And as religious and as fanatic as that sounds, it's bigger than you. So that is it for the day. I am doing Therapy Thursday tomorrow. So those are £60 for an hour. If you want to drop in, people who have longer bookings. So if you want to book multiple, it goes down to £50 an hour and you get priority over the drop-ins. Because I only do those on Thursdays. Wednesdays today is a workshop, so I teach lots of different things: numerology and tarot, psychic development, meditation too, if you want that as well. Fridays, I'm doing palmistry and prophecy. Palmistry, you send me a full palmistry scan. You take photos of it, I print it, annotate it, send it back to you, and then we have a video or audio call, depending on what your preference is, and we discuss it. Saturdays is Vedic astrology reading, so I do a full breakdown of your chart, what your energy system is looking like, how where the planets are, on the day that you were born, how it influences your energy system. Sundays are Soul Sundays, 2 hours soul purpose readings. Monday is mediumship, and Tuesday is tarot. So that is my schedule. If you want to give for these readings, you can. It is PayPal at Kyle Treslove. You can check out my tarot offerings and my experience on kyletreslove.com. And yeah, I think that is it. If you want to book in for tarot or mediumship, 45-minute sessions, you can do that via Calendly. It is Kyle Treslove 326. So that is it. Like I would always say, remember, all is good, all is God, all is love. Until we connect again soon, in a bit.